Most people do not lose money because of one terrible financial decision. They lose it quietly. A few unnecessary purchases here: food that expires before it is eaten, clothes bought because they were discounted, storage boxes purchased to organize things that should never have been bought in the first place, subscriptions forgotten for months, cheap objects replaced again and again because they were never made to last. None of these expenses feels dangerous on its own, but together, they can quietly drain thousands from your life. Japanese living offers a different way to think about money, not by making life miserable, not by refusing every pleasure, and not by obsessing over every coin. The deeper idea is much simpler: waste less, buy with intention. Take care of what you already own, and learn when enough is actually enough. Here are 7 Japanese-inspired secrets that can help you stop throwing your money away and start living better with less. 1. Stop buying things just because they are cheap. A discount can make an unnecessary purchase feel intelligent. You walk into a store without planning to buy anything. Then you see a sign saying 50% off. Suddenly, your mind changes the question. You stop asking, "Do I need this?" and start asking, "How can I possibly leave this behind at this price?" That is how people spend $20 to supposedly save $20. But if you never needed the item, you did not save anything. You spent $20. One powerful lesson found in Japanese simplicity is that value is not determined by how little something costs. Value comes from how well something serves your life. A cheap object that sits unused in a cupboard is expensive. A slightly more expensive object that you use every day for 10 years can be incredibly cheap. This changes the way you shop. Instead of being impressed by a discount, ask yourself one question: would I still want this if it were not on sale? If the answer is no, the discount is probably creating the desire. Sales are designed to create urgency. Limited time, last chance, only 3 left, today only. But your money does not care how exciting the sign looked. Once it leaves your account, it is gone. Many people fill their homes with bargains and then wonder why they never feel financially comfortable. The problem was never one expensive purchase. It was hundreds of small purchases that felt harmless. Japanese-style intentional living teaches you to slow down before bringing something into your home. Touch it, look at it, imagine where it will live, imagine yourself using it 6 months from now. If you cannot picture that clearly, leave it behind. A store can keep the object. You can keep the money, and sometimes keeping the money is the better bargain. 2. Give everything you buy a purpose and a place. One reason people waste money is surprisingly simple. They buy something without knowing exactly what role it will have in their life. A new kitchen gadget looks useful, a decorative basket looks beautiful, a jacket looks good, a second coffee machine seems convenient, but once it enters the home, there is nowhere obvious for it to go. So it gets pushed into a cupboard, placed on a chair, moved into a spare room, or forgotten completely. Eventually, you may even buy another version because you forgot you already owned one. This is where Japanese home philosophy becomes financially powerful. Before buying something, decide 2 things: what will this do, and where will it live? If you cannot answer both questions, the purchase is not ready. This sounds almost too simple, but it prevents an enormous amount of unnecessary spending. Imagine you want to buy a new appliance. Do not only ask whether you can afford it, ask where it will be stored. What will it replace? How often will you use it? What problem does it solve that your current tools cannot solve? If the answers are vague, your desire may be stronger than your need. A home filled with objects also creates hidden costs: more shelves, more cabinets, more storage containers, larger furniture, more time cleaning, more maintenance. Eventually, some people even feel they need a bigger home because their current home cannot hold everything they own. Think about that. First, we spend money buying objects. Then we spend more money buying storage for the objects. Then we sometimes spend even more money trying to create enough space for the storage. The cheaper solution may have been to leave the first object in the store. A clear place creates a natural limit. If the bookshelf is full, perhaps another book should leave before another arrives. If the wardrobe is full, perhaps the answer is not another closet. If the kitchen cabinet is already crowded, perhaps you do not need another tool. Space can become a financial boundary, and that boundary protects both your home and your money. 3. Practice mottainai. Stop wasting what you already have. There is a Japanese expression often connected to regret over waste, mottainai. Its deeper feeling is not simply, do not throw things away. It is closer to recognizing that something still has value, usefulness, effort, or life left in it. That idea becomes powerful when applied to everyday spending. Look inside many homes and you will find products abandoned before they are finished. Half-used bottles, food forgotten behind newer food, clothes worn twice, electronics replaced while they still work, furniture discarded because the color is no longer fashionable. None of this feels dramatic, but every unfinished product represents money that was already spent. Before buying another bottle of shampoo, finish the one you have. Before ordering dinner, check what is already in the refrigerator. Before buying new shoes, clean the pair you stopped wearing. Before replacing a piece of furniture, ask whether moving, repairing, painting, or cleaning it could give it another life. This is not about becoming attached to everything. Some things genuinely need to leave. The lesson is to stop treating replacement as the first solution. Modern consumer culture trains us to solve inconvenience with purchasing. Something looks old? Replace it. Something becomes boring? Replace it. Something requires maintenance? Replace it. But the financially stronger question is, can I use what I already have? That question sounds ordinary. Over a lifetime, it can save an extraordinary amount of money. Food is one of the easiest places to practice this. Before grocery shopping, look carefully at what you already own. What vegetables need to be eaten first? What is sitting in the freezer? What packet was opened last week? What ingredients could become tonight's meal? Buying food while ignoring the food already at home is like filling a bucket with a hole in the bottom. The answer is not always adding more. Sometimes the answer is using what is already there. When you begin treating your possessions with more respect, something interesting happens. You naturally buy less because you stop thinking of everything as temporary. 4. Buy fewer things, but choose them more carefully. Cheap can be expensive. Imagine buying a $20 item that breaks every year. Over 5 years, you spend $100 and deal with 5 replacements. Now imagine buying one well-made item for $60 that lasts the entire 5 years. The more expensive purchase was actually cheaper. This does not mean expensive automatically equals quality. A luxury logo does not guarantee durability. The principle is simply to stop evaluating purchases only by their price today. Think about cost over time. Japanese craftsmanship has long been associated with attention to durability, repair, detail, and respect for materials. You can borrow that mindset without buying Japanese products. When something will be used often, look for durability before novelty. A good kitchen knife can serve you for years. A strong bag can outlive several fashionable ones. A reliable coat can survive many winters. A simple piece of furniture can move through different homes without becoming outdated. The goal is not to own the most expensive version of everything. The goal is to reduce the cycle of buy, break, replace. That cycle is expensive, and it fills your home with frustration. When buying something important, ask, how often will I use this? Can it be repaired? Is the design simple enough that I will still like it in several years? Are replacement parts available? Does it solve one problem extremely well? Will I take care of it? Sometimes the right choice will still be the cheaper option, but now you are choosing based on usefulness rather than impulse. There is another advantage to owning fewer, better things. You notice what you own. You take better care of it. You know where it is. You use it more often. A wardrobe of 15 pieces you genuinely enjoy may serve you better than 70 pieces you barely remember buying. A kitchen with 10 reliable tools may work better than drawers filled with gadgets. A home becomes easier when every object earns its place. And money becomes easier when purchases become rarer and more deliberate. 5. Shop smaller and more often when it prevents waste. For years, many people have been taught that buying more automatically means saving more. Family packs, bulk boxes, buy 3, get 1 free, warehouse-size portions. Sometimes bulk buying makes perfect financial sense. If you use the product regularly and it will not spoil, larger quantities can reduce cost. But bulk buying becomes expensive when the savings exist only on the receipt. Food is the clearest example. Imagine saving $10 by buying twice as much food, then 30% of it spoils. You did not save $10. You paid extra for food that went directly into the trash. Smaller Japanese kitchens and more frequent grocery habits can teach an important lesson. Buy according to actual consumption, not fantasy consumption. We often shop for the person we imagine ourselves becoming. This week I will cook every night. I will eat salad every day. I will make smoothies every morning. I will use all of these vegetables. Then life happens. We get tired, plans change, someone eats out, work becomes busy, and the refrigerator becomes a graveyard of good intentions. A better approach is to buy closer to reality. If your household normally eats 5 pieces of fruit before they spoil, buying 12 because they are cheaper per piece may not be economical. The same applies outside food. Do you really need 12 notebooks because they came in a value pack? Do you need 6 bottles of a product you have never tried? Do you need 50 storage bags because the box is cheaper? Savings only count when the product is actually used. Before buying in bulk, ask, will I definitely use all of this? How long will it take? Where will I store it? Would I buy this quantity if there were no discount? Those questions separate genuine saving from disguised overspending. You do not need to shop small all the time. You simply need to stop confusing quantity with value. Sometimes buying less is financially smarter, even when the price per unit is slightly higher, because the cheapest product is the one you completely use. 6. Maintenance is cheaper than replacement. A surprisingly large part of overspending begins with neglect. Shoes are never cleaned. Appliances are never maintained. Clothes are washed too aggressively. Furniture is exposed to moisture. Tools are thrown into drawers. Phones are left unprotected. Then things wear out faster than they should. And we call the replacement unavoidable. Japanese culture contains many examples of care being treated as part of ownership. You do not simply acquire something, you maintain it. That small shift can protect enormous amounts of money. Think of everything you own as having a lifespan. Your habits can shorten it or extend it. A pair of shoes that is cleaned, dried properly, and repaired early may last years longer. A washing machine that is maintained may avoid expensive problems. A wooden table cared for properly can serve more than one generation. A good coat stored correctly can return every winter. Maintenance is rarely exciting. That is why people ignore it. Buying something new gives a quick emotional reward. Cleaning an old thing does not. But financially, maintenance often wins. Create small routines. Once a month, check what needs attention. Tighten a loose screw before the chair becomes damaged. Repair a small tear before it becomes a large one. Descale the appliance before performance declines. Clean the filter. Oil the hinge. Protect the surface. Wash delicate clothes properly. These actions seem tiny, but replacement becomes expensive because it happens repeatedly. There is also a psychological benefit. When you take care of something, you become less interested in replacing it for superficial reasons. The scratches tell a story. The object becomes familiar. You stop demanding that everything in your life look brand new. That mindset protects you from one of the most expensive traps in modern life: replacing things that still work simply because something newer exists. A new version does not automatically make your current version useless. If it still performs the job, keeping it may be the smartest financial decision you make that month. 7. Learn the difference between enough and more. This may be the most important secret of all, because if you never define enough, no amount of money will ever feel sufficient. There will always be a newer phone, a bigger house, a better kitchen, another pair of shoes, a more impressive vacation, a newer car, a larger television, a trendier room. The finish line keeps moving, and the person chasing it keeps spending. Japanese concepts around simplicity often point toward a quieter idea of satisfaction, not perfection, not deprivation. Enough space, enough clothing, enough food, enough comfort, enough entertainment, enough possessions. When enough becomes visible, spending begins to slow naturally. You no longer need discipline for every purchase because your identity is changing. You stop asking, "What else can I add?" and start asking, "What is already good?" This is difficult because advertising survives by making enough feel inadequate. Your phone works, but the new one has a better camera. Your sofa is comfortable, but another one looks more modern. Your wardrobe is full, but this season has new colors. Your kitchen works perfectly, but social media shows one that looks cleaner. Comparison turns functional possessions into emotional problems, so create your own definition of enough before the world creates one for you. Maybe enough clothing means everything fits inside one wardrobe. Maybe enough kitchenware means every item is used regularly. Maybe enough technology means you replace devices only when they stop serving their purpose. Maybe enough groceries means buying what your household can realistically finish. Maybe enough home decor means leaving some space empty. Empty space is not failure. An old object is not failure. Repeating an outfit is not failure. Keeping a phone for another year is not failure. Not upgrading is not failure. Sometimes the ability to say, "This is still enough for me," is one of the most financially powerful skills you can develop, because once you stop needing every upgrade, every trend, and every new object to make life feel complete, money stays with you longer. And surprisingly, life can begin to feel richer, not because you own more, but because you finally notice what you already have. Living better with less does not mean removing every pleasure from your life. It means removing the spending that gives you almost nothing in return. The forgotten purchase, the wasted food, the unused bargain, the duplicate object, the replacement that was never necessary, the upgrade you barely notice after a week, the things that take your money, occupy your home, and still fail to make your life meaningfully better. Start small. Before your next purchase, slow down. Ask whether you truly need it. Ask where it will live. Use what you already have. Choose quality when durability matters. Buy quantities you can realistically consume. Take care of the things that serve you well. And most importantly, decide what enough looks like in your own life. Because saving money is not always about earning more. Sometimes it begins with finally stopping the money that is quietly escaping through habits you stopped noticing. Spend with intention. Waste less. Own what serves you. And let the rest stay in the store. That is how less can begin to feel like much more.